Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 mod bundle. And today we are looking at my top 5 favorite mods of 2021. That's right, today is the last day of the year, at least as I'm recording this in my part of the globe, and I wanted to reminisce on 2021. It's been a rough year for a lot of people, but it has been a pretty good year for mods, as we have gotten a lot of really quality stuff on the Nexus lately. Some of these mods have become such staples in my load order, I forgot that they even came out this year. It feels like I've had them all along, and to remember that they came out only a few months ago is pretty insane. So I'm going to go ahead and just break through some of my favorites, and since we're only covering 5, there are definitely many more quality mods that came out this year. Again, these are just a few of my favorites, and spoiler warning, there's a lot of weapon mods. I like weapons, and this is my list. So for starters, speaking of weapon mods, let's check out Combined Arms by Nova Finch. This was an absolute treat this year, having such a huge weapon pack of such quality, and not only that, but to get an expansion pack later in the year, and possibly even more add-ons next year is incredible. So if you're somehow not familiar with Combined Arms, it is not only the second most downloaded mod on the Nexus this year, it is the most endorsed mod on the Nexus for 2021, and it is definitely deserving of so. This mod adds 14 new weapons into the game, all of which are very high quality. A lot of times with weapon packs, you're sacrificing quality for quantity or vice versa, but that is not the case for this pack. You get 14 super high quality weapon mods, all of which would be outstanding individual releases, but you get them in one mega pack, which means one ESP, and this thing is phenomenal. Now, if that wasn't enough, the weapons themselves are incredible. We have our first ever fully custom animated Barrett 50 cal and an M249. You have the SV98 finally with a leveled-less version, a Spaz 12 which is fully animated and looks beautiful, the SIG 550, the PL15 Lebedev, another Beretta M9 and a 1911, the Desert Eagle by Nova Finch, the G36, the Stare AUG, AS Val, AKM, and TT33 Tokarev. A lot of these weapons honestly do fit very well in the Fallout universe, at least most of them in terms of the timeline that they were released. Of course, you can throw on some pretty modern and tactical attachments, but if you're somebody who uses a modern tactical load order, this is definitely your one-stop shop and should be the first weapon mod that you think of when it comes to building your load order. This has a wonderful base of weapons to get you started, all of which are going to have new custom ammo types, a ton of really cool modifications at the workbench, as well as leveled-less integration, so you will find them all out in the world, which is a huge plus. Every single weapon here is beautifully crafted, it has custom animations, and honestly, this is just a perfect weapon pack. And hopefully some of these updates that we'll be seeing coming in the next year are going to make it even better. So, excellent work by Nova Finch and everybody that contributed to this project. This is definitely not only one of my favorite mods of this year, but of all time. This is a truly incredible weapon pack. Moving on to the next mod, we have Project Mojave by TheFriedturkey, HcGxGrill, Callum, and MrColonelMustard, and everybody else who contributed to the project. This is a huge mod that adds in a portion of New Vegas for you to go and explore in Fallout 4. And this isn't just a remake of the game New Vegas, this is actually an expansion for Fallout 4 that takes place in Fallout 4's timeline that allows you to go to New Vegas in the future, which is pretty cool. Now, there isn't a ton in the way of questing and story for this project at the moment. There is one main quest that will allow you to get there and unlock all of the different areas available, but after that you are up to your own devices to explore, check out a lot of the new settlements that have been added, and just have a lot of fun. In this mod, you're not only going to get a location from New Vegas, you're also going to have a handful of new settlements, a handful of new player homes, a ton of new enemies to fight, not only some that have been released already, like the Mojave Geckos mod, but also a ton of new creatures like Cazadors and giant ants, making this for a really complete New Vegas experience. And you also get a ton of new settlement items to build at your newly added settlements as well. The authors absolutely nailed the tone and the setting of this place. It really feels like you are playing New Vegas yet again, and this is an absolute treasure to go and experience for yourself. Sadly, this mod is so big that it's just not going to be available for Xbox, but if you have a chance to play it on PC, I highly recommend it, especially if you're a New Vegas fan. Just being able to see all of your favorite areas touched up and brought to life in a new engine with new graphics is really nice. Up next, a mod that we've talked about a lot on the channel, and that is Machineguns Rebirth by Skibadaa. Skibadaa is an absolute master of heavy weapons and has a ton of really cool mods and a good history on the Nexus, and has continued improving on their work over and over until they get it exactly how they want it, and that is what Machineguns Rebirth is. This mod is not only going to add in 2 of Skibada's classic heavy machine guns, but also 2 new additional weapons, an automatic grenade launcher and a flak cannon, which is just so awesome. Now, if Combined Arms was the mod for all of those tactical modern weapon lovers, this is the mod for heavy weapon lovers. This mod adds 4 new heavy weapons for you to enjoy, all of which are of the utmost quality and are absolutely amazing and have a ton of customization at the weapons workbench. Additionally, after a few updates, this mod has gotten even better. Now, not only are there more attachments, more camos, you can also go and make these into turrets for your settlement, each and every one of these weapons, which is incredible. Speaking of those weapons, the exact weapons you get are the WH Mark 22 Heavy Machine Gun, the WH Mark 19 Shrike General Purpose Machine Gun, which is going to be a lighter version of the first one, the Flak Gun Mark 1, which is exactly what it sounds like, a gigantic flak cannon perfect for shooting down vertibirds, and the Westtech AGL 40, which is a gigantic, fully automatic grenade launcher. Pretty similar to the grenade machine gun from Fallout New Vegas, just with a bit of a different aesthetic. All of which are beautiful weapons, pair perfectly with power armor. Definitely a great option for you heavy weapon users. Now, we've gone into details about this mod over and over again, so if you want every single detail, you can go check out some of the videos on my channel already, but this is just a recap of my 5 favorites, so let's go ahead and move on to the next mod, which is going to be the Zap Gun by gmoi. And the Zap Gun is really a fantastic energy weapon. This combines everything that people were looking for from a proper pipe weapon, something that is makeshift and believable, and it adds it in an energy variant. So rather than just another pipe gun, we get a new energy weapon that has a ton of makeshift parts and totally changes the way that it looks whenever you add new parts onto it. It is definitely a really cool, unique energy weapon, and something that I recommend that everybody throw in their load order, whether they're trying at modern tactical or they're trying to have a lore-friendly style. This is just something that makes sense. In a universe that is torn apart by the apocalypse and people are trying to make their own weapons, and in said universe we already have laser weapons, why wouldn't they be trying to make their own? We do have something like that in the vanilla game with the laser musket, but who would want to limit themselves to a crank weapon? No, the Zap Gun is a perfect item to have scattered around the wasteland where people are trying to make a new self-defense laser weapon. This thing is super cool, and all of the attachments that you apply at the weapons workbench make it function totally differently. You can have this thing be a flamer, a laser pistol, a pretty much Gauss rifle, and there's also a unique version on the world that is basically a gravity cannon that's going to send people flying. This weapon is super cool, super unique. I love the style of it, the repurposing of different scrap parts to make this thing look real and believable. This thing is an absolutely incredible piece of work, and I love this weapon, and it will never leave my load order, which is why it is here in this top 5. And then the final mod for this list is Immersive Animation Framework by AnotherOne, aka RetroPaladin. So yeah, not a weapon mod, but this one is so integral to my load order. It was one of the coolest mods to see on the Nexus this year. This adds completely custom animations to every single aid item in the game. I get asked about this one a lot. During my B-roll, a lot of times you'll see me using healing items that will have animations, and for people not familiar, it's Immersive Animation Framework. This is what does it. It adds animations like the stim pack, how it has in vanilla Fallout 4, to every aid item. And it has a ton of patches for different mods that add in new medical items, and it works with those as well, which is a really awesome quality of life touch. It's really weird that they added the immersive animation to the stim pack in the vanilla game, and that ends up breaking your immersion more because that's the only aid item that has it. So if that's the only one that's animated and the rest are not, then it just doesn't feel tied together. It feels incomplete. And this mod fixes that in every single way. And you can combine it with a ton of different mods to make it even better. Things like Consume Without Pickup, which allows you to pick up items right off the table and just use it with an animation, is super cool and very immersive, and I highly recommend this one if you're trying to at all add any realism to your game. This is my immediate go-to pick for having a ton of immersion with a really, really simple concept, and it is fantastic work by RetroPaladin. So that is my top 5 for the year, but that's not all. Like I said, there are a ton of really quality mods that came out this year, and I would love to hear some of your favorites down in the comments below. This video was really intended to sing praises to some of these incredible mod authors who made some really incredible work this year. We've covered just about every single one of these mods already on the channel in depth, but again, this was just more to really show how incredible some of these pieces are. And I highly recommend you check out each and every single one of these on the Nexus. They will be linked down in the description below if you would like to do so. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a rating, subscribe if you haven't already for more videos just like this, and I hope to see you in the next one. See you next year, and Happy New Year's. Thanks, guys. Thanks for every single thing you've done this year to support the channel. It has been an incredible year on YouTube, and I owe it all to every single one of you for watching. So, thank you.